Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ben, and in this episode of the Smoking Hot Confessions Barbecue Podcast, we're talking with a man whose family name is synonymous with outdoor cooking in Australia. Hey family, I hope you're well wherever you are and you got that thin blue smoke rolling. This is episode 122 of the Smoking Hot Confessions Barbecue Podcast. And tonight I'm super excited. We have some outdoor cooking royalty in the confessional with us here tonight. But before we get to that, I'm going to just do a few announcements and just run them by before we get started. So as you know, the past few weeks we've been calling out for businesses to partner with here in the podcast, and that's going really well. We're going to be launching that program really soon. So if you have been thinking about jumping on board, get in contact with me really quickly, ben@smokinghotconfessions.com, because we're filling up the next couple of weeks super quick. The next announcement is that this ep is brought to you by Meat and Fire Media Services. They have a current course that they're running, brand building through social media marketing. And if you use the code word podcast at checkout, you'll save $100 off that course. So check that out, meatandfiremediaservices.com. That's a brand building through social media marketing course. Use the code word podcast at checkout, $100 off the course. All right, so now today's episode, we're talking to a bloke whose product is synonymous with the Aussie outdoor lifestyle. He has a family history rich in outdoor cooking. Of course, we're talking to Anthony Shepard from OzPig. So without further ado, let's get him in here.
This is the internationally awarded Smoking Hot Confessions Barbecue Podcast with your host, Ben Arnott. How long's it been since your last confession?
Alrighty, Anthony Shepard, mate, welcome to the Barbecue Podcast. Welcome to Smoking Hot Confessions. How are you today?
Good, thanks, Ben. Yourself?
Mate, pretty good. It's been a flat-out day, but I'm happy to be able to sit back and talk about barbecue and share a beer with you.
That's it, mate. That's what it's about at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, there we go. Me too. Alrighty, so let's kick things off, mate. What was the last thing that you barbecued?
It was on the weekend. We were down at the markets here locally and we found a local lamb supplier. I think we did some kofta and some lamb skewers over the charcoal.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Now, you're on the Sunshine Coast. Who was the local lamb supplier on the Sunshine Coast?
Sunshine Coast... it's called Sunshine Coast Farm, I'm pretty sure, up in Noosa.
Well, that's pretty easy to remember then.
Yeah.
And how was that lamb?
Fantastic. Really good. Local producer, something that we, try and support our local guys. So it was good to find. It was a new market for us, so stumbled upon it and the family were wrapped with it, actually.
Yeah. It's quite interesting because the Sunshine Coast isn't really sort of somewhere you associate as a lamb ranching area.
No, you wouldn't. They're hard to find normally, and good supplies and meat up here, few and far between. I think it's something for us. It's rare to stumble upon, so it was really good to find.
Yeah, no doubt, man. It sounds amazing. Lamb kofta is one of my favorites. It's so good.
Yeah, they've done a good job. All pre-made, which was nice, and lamb was marinated. So it was a good feed, really good feed, to be honest. Family loved it.
Yeah. Now, of course, you are the owner of the OzPig brand, so I'm assuming that the OzPig is what you've got sitting on your back deck?
Yes, yeah, OzPig. We've got a couple of different models on the back deck. We've got the standard one, which you can see behind me there. We also have the big pig as well and the smoker attachment sitting on top of it. So we get a bit of variety out of it and good for cooking and keeping warm in winter. So it's been really nice the last few months.
Yeah, I love mine. It's such a good bit of gear.
Yeah, no, thanks heaps for getting behind it. It's been great seeing you out there cooking on there and doing the cooking demos for Townsville. That was really great to see.
Yeah. I did a couple for the Sunshine Coast this weekend as well.
Would have loved to have been there. Family calls.
It was your hometown. I was looking forward to catching up for a beer.
Yeah, you know how it goes. 20-year-old nieces in Brisbane needed moving and uncle with the van's got to go and do the job.
Mate, I remember back to when I was 20 and I was going to uni, and I feel sorry for my dad because I must have moved house every 3 to 6 months. I reckon every time the lease was up, they just kicked us out and moved us on. So my poor dad, he must have moved me about eight or 9 times.
Yeah, no, they've been good. It's only every 12 months or so it's not so full on, but, it's family. So you get into what you got to do.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Now, speaking of family, OzPig is, of course, a family-owned business. So tell us about how OzPig started.
Okay, it was created by my mother and father 14 years ago. First launched at the 06 Gympie Muster, designed while they were in retirement. They'd just sold up. They owned coffee shops and cafes growing up. So food was always a big part of what we did. And they sold up and went traveling around the countryside and found, I think they were on the Murray River for a couple of months and couldn't light a fire anyway. So the old man sort of created the original pig back then to give you the ability to have a fire in a safe, contained environment. And, with our cooking background, it had to be versatile. It had to do a little bit of everything. So we sort of come up with a open door, open top design for a wood-fired stove, like our interpretation of what we thought a wood-fired stove was all about, and had to be economical on wood. And then, like I said, versatility in cooking was key.
Yeah. Now it's interesting that it's got that really round design down in the main belly of the OzPig there. Why did they go for a round design?
Well, as you can see it was a gas bottle originally. So that's where the first concept came from. And, we've played with a million different shapes and sizes, squares. I'm a boilie by trade. So, we've tried to reimagine the pig many times over the years, but that press shape that the cylinder has, it just has the structural integrity that can just take a beating. So you can heat it up and cool it down for years on end. And it doesn't buckle, it doesn't twist, it doesn't warp. So, that's why we stayed with it. And as we've developed, we've kept that cylinder idea throughout all our products. We like the shape, we like the design, and strong.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So what was it like in those early years? I mean, that's only 04, so that wouldn't have been your childhood years. But do you have a lot of like childhood camping memories? Were you guys always a camping family?
Yeah, we were. My folks grew up in Mount Isa, so it's big camping back in the 50s and 60s and stuff like that. So they're out back, and that's what they did. And the old man was that jack of all trades, master of none, can do a bit of everything, you know what I mean? And was never satisfied with just sitting still. So, when they got on the road, we all wondered what was going to happen. And, here it is, 14 odd years later. And, we've gone through, I think, 3 minor design changes to, one major series change last year. And, but we've always held true to that, that simple design, small chimney, big cylinder, leave the door open so you can sit by the fire and keep warm and stuff like that. So, that's sort of where we've come from. We, I think the folks really enjoyed it for the first couple of years. It was, only ever supposed to be a bit of petrol money for them to get around the countryside so they could extend their retirement. But I came in about 3 years after they started and sort of helped with production and getting our quality up to sort of where it is today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So spent a lot of years in and out of factories and in caravan and camping shows and stuff like that, talking to customers and sort of getting it to where we are now.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask about that actually. Like, what is the prototype phase like? Like what sort of procedures do you go through when you've got an idea, you've got a design, and then you've got to go through all the prototypes?
A lot of beers.
That's a great answer. I love that answer.
Yeah. Mate, I think there's a lot of talking, a lot of drinking, and a lot of concepts get thrown around first. And then, you get in there and you build them and you try and break them and oh, no, that doesn't work. And, yeah, this is a good concept, but no, we need to redesign that. It doesn't work. And we're doing that currently with a couple of new things that we've got going. And, I sort of tell everyone minimum 2-year cycle. If you're talking mass production, by the time you've finished playing with the design, first coming up with the concept, then building it, breaking it, rebuilding it 4 or 5 times, and then trying to get it into mass production. It's a good 2-year sort of cycle. So the smoker you can see on there, we launched March last year, and we came up with the concept of that about 2.5 years ago in WA after caravan and camping show, sitting around in the backyard of a good mate Ian's house in WA, having a few beers, talking about low and slow, and how big and how cool it is, and just our thoughts on what we could do and where we could take it with our little product. And then we were lucky enough to get the guys from Jagged involved, and Glenn just took off with the concept. And I think it was only a couple of months later he built us a concept out of a pressure tank that he had laying around in his shed.
He's a genius with a cutting disc and a welder. There's nothing that guy can't do.
He is, mate. No, really good.
Yeah. So let's back it up just a little bit. So you've just been talking about being at the caravan and camping show in WA and your parents kicking things off in 04. What was the development process like? Like what are sort of the significant milestones that you've hit along the way between 04 and say 2019?
Okay, so it was 06 that we launched it at the Gympie Muster.
Sorry, I wrote that down wrong.
Yeah, so, mate, so many trials and sales, and initially we were just sold through caravan and camping shows, so it was us doing trade shows. We had agents that worked for us doing trade shows as well. So a lot of hours, a lot of miles covered just getting out there and showing people what the product is. We were, really lucky. We just came up in that era of the caravan and camping show getting quite large. So a lot of people came through and, were spending the time with us while we were out there educating and demonstrating. We cook on our product all day long. Say the same spiel 1,000 times over during a day. So, that was us at the start. And then, we sort of looked back inwards on the company and where we wanted to take it, and really started, building the quality and trying to achieve better in the product and delivering a more quality product. That took me, 2.5 years and 3 different factories to go through. So that was a big part of my life. I think I was away 2 weeks out of every 6 weeks while we were getting those off the ground and redeveloping.
Wow.
So
that's a lot of time away from home.
It is a long time away from home with with a young child at the time, and it was the wife did a really good job by herself, and stressful but rewarding times. You know what I mean? We worked hard. We're really happy, or I'm really happy with the quality that we're getting now, and it's something that we strive for. Trying to get it right, and when you're trying to produce in mass quantity, trying to get that 99% quality right, It's not an easy thing, but we're getting there. And,
yeah.
It's something that we really focused on that. And then after that, once you built the product right, then you can take it back to market and go after the retail side of things. So once we did that, we employed a marketing agency to brand us and help us with the branding. If anyone knows us and would have seen us years ago, we would have been in a green and pink box. So yeah, that didn't sit really well on the shelf. The marketing agency helped us a long way, you know what I mean? And always believed in, investing in people that do their job properly and can help you along. I'm a boilermaker by trade. I know how to make stuff out of steel. Marketing is a whole new world to me, but something that I've been learning over the last, 10 years. Working with professionals. So it's a big part of business and something that we're looking to bring in-house now, finally.
Oh, That's interesting. Yeah, I did see a job advert that you had out there just a few weeks ago. How'd you go with that?
Yeah, it's still in the hunt now. We're getting a bit more serious about it. So it's out on Seek and now. So put it out to the broader community and see how we go. Like anyone, post-COVID or really post-bushfires, it's a whole new world for us. So restructure, relook at how we do things and, try and do it a little bit smarter and give the customers what they're looking for, content and, recipes and all that. That's where we're sort of trying to focus in the next couple of years.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I just want to loop back to something that you said earlier. You said that you built them and then you went about breaking them. So I'm just curious to know what kind of stress testing you've done on it, because I'm sure there's got to be some good stories here.
Mate, yeah. I'm a big man and I can jump on it and stand on it. And we've had some interesting nights and like I was saying before, plenty of beers and thoughts about, weak points and how we can do it better. The biggest thing with us is just the torture test. Like we're talking 600 plus degrees, 8 hours at a time.
Oh, wow.
So they've got to be able to withstand it. And then it's hot, cold. Like people leave these things out in the rain, fire in them half the time, glowing red. So they've got to be able to withstand that, So a lot of that, a lot of people looking at me crazy while I'm trying to kick it over and trying to break things, and factories going, no, I think we can do this a different way now. Look at this and let's, and that's what it's all about, product, trying to find what's wrong with it and make it better. That's what we do.
Mate, I love that you're going to those lengths before you're taking it to market. That's so awesome.
Yeah, well, I think you got to. You know what I mean? Like we got a distribution base of about 400 stores around Australia. So if you don't do it right, it can be very hard trying to rectify it.
And you're going to hear about it real quick.
Yeah, for sure. Our customers let us know. We've got a really good little community, that OzPig lovers group, and if we're doing something wrong, they let us know for sure. We have copped a lot of flack in the past, but this is where we learn and this is where we get better, and this is how we've developed into the brand that we are today. We every couple of years we try and do a bit of a survey and find out what the consumers are looking for, and that's sort of what led us to branching out into the low and slow and making an oven smoker, that bigger version and the smaller version, and branching out into, that what you would call more big box store rather than, where we have traditionally been through the independent retailers all around Australia. It was all from customer feedback, telling us what they wanted and where they wanted to get it from, basically.
Yeah. So you've mentioned that you're part of 400 different stores there. That's a huge achievement. What are some of the achievements that you've hit over the years?
it's been a while now. I know. Back in the start, we thought international was a big thing, and that's been really cool, but really stressful as well. When you're trying to communicate and understand a consumer that's on the other side of the planet, it becomes quite difficult. And you learn with time that the only way to do it is to get over there and have a beer with them and figure out what they want and how they do things. So it's not an easy venture. I know Japan, of all things, has been a real surprising market for us.
Japan? Wow.
Yeah. It really blew me away when I first thought about it. But they love cooking over charcoal and fire. It's a big part of their culture and how they go about it. And camping is quite large over there. So it really took us by surprise. And we're really happy with how it's sticking over there. New Zealand's great. And then, Europe. We've been there and done it a couple of times. Hasn't quite worked, but we're going again. Early next year, we'll be launching over there ourselves rather than distribution model and, doing it ourselves, doing the hard work. Hopefully we can manage it from here. With COVID, we've got to. Can't get over there. So, I think that, those are the biggest, for us, it's the small things, I mean, that Facebook community, I think it growing, it is one of our highlights. We love seeing what people are getting in there and doing. People are building like sheds and bars dedicated around their OzPig. And, that's a great kicker for us. People are really getting in there and using it. And, we've got some really great people on board that work with us and good friends. Anyone that knows our brand knows Brad Lum, was a customer, great friend, does so much for our brand, and he's what we call the master pigmentologist. So,
master pigmentologist.
Yeah. So that's a couple of beers too. That's our version of a pit master. And I build them and he cooks on top of them, and he does a great job and really helps us, spread the word of what we do. And, like I was saying before, you can't do it all by yourself, and, you got to have good people around you. And we've been lucky to, have that. So, they're a couple of the real good achievements, I think. We've sort of ticked over the last few years.
Got a project you'd like to work on with the SHC team? Shoot Ben an email on ben@smokinghotconfessions.com and let's have a conversation.
So, alrighty, now in this section here, let's have a bit of a chat about this new line of products that you've been talking about. You've mentioned that there's the Big Pig. We've talked about the smoker. There's so many other things that you can attach to an OzPig. So, tell me about the new line of products.
Yeah, so we've covered the smoker. Then, so the big thing for us was we saw a real shift in our consumers, and noticed that a lot of people were either really off grid or at home using them all the time, and it was really about getting in touch with them and finding out how can we refine our product to give them a better product offering and suit their needs, basically. So we'll start with the first one, which was the smaller version, the Traveller. So it was more about getting back to basics. So stripping it down to its bare necessities, a bit lighter, more compact, larger cooking surface for people. So that's sort of where we went down that Traveller design. So we were lucky to partnership with BCF for that one. And they've got that exclusive around Australia and are doing a really good job for us. So like I was saying, it's a bit more basic. It doesn't have the, what we'd say, the cooking options for the top, like smokers and stuff like that. So it's more about just getting out there and doing it and having a good fire and good heating. It's more of a hybrid stove, so you can take the top off and really kick it into it and have a big fire leaping out the top of it if you want to. Or you can close the lid, leave the door open and tuck it underneath your awning and keep your space warm while you're out there camping. So that's the traveler range. And then we've got the Big Pig. So Big Pig's something that I've been playing with for, 3 or 4 years now.
Wow.
We go to Gympie Muster every year, and there's about, 20, 25 adults and as many children that we take with us. And, we have 10 days up there just having a blast. We got to do a bit of work up there as well. But, it's our birthday every year, so we're celebrating every year. So
that's really work in inverted commas. Then.
Yeah. If you've seen us up there, you'll see the work that we get up to. It's good fun. It's a lot of good fun. A lot of sore heads the next day anyway. But, the Big Pig was designed because we take up quite a large marquee. I think it's like an 8x10, one of those old circus-style marquees with 2 poles in the middle. And cooking for that large a tribe and trying to keep everyone warm off the OzPig can be a little bit difficult. So we were putting 2 side by side and a big plate over the top originally. And, me being me, we can do this a bit differently. Let's have a go. And off I went to cutting and shutting, putting pig bodies together. And no, that didn't work. And we'll get this tank out and give that a go. And, it was only ever supposed to be just something for the muster for us to take up. And, again, friends, family getting around and going, you know what, you could be onto something here. And, with the feedback that we got from the community, we went, well, maybe it is. And, 4 years later, we've got it here out to market and really stoked. It's through our independent group, and we've got some real good supporters of that. Now, independent guys have really got behind us and are really pushing that line. And, I think the consumers are in there loving it just as much as we are now. So, now it's like anything. We're not the biggest company in the world, so we just got to slowly bring it out. So we brought out the Big Pig and a couple of accessories, and, we'll just continually bring out accessories every 6-12 months to keep adding to that line. And, I think the big one that we've got coming now is rotisserie for it and the briquette basket. So really looking forward to seeing that out there. I think there's a bit of a demand for everyone to get that rotisserie out on top. There's nothing better than good rotisserie meat over top of the fire. So, looking forward to getting that out into people, and then the smoker, of course, it's been fantastic for us. It's what we call an oven smoker, and Glenn from Jade nailed it right on the spot for our consumer. Our consumers after versatility. We're not that standard offset or vertical or anything like that. Our product is all about versatility. So we got a wood-fired stove that you can just sit and kick around and enjoy the fire if you want to, or, you can accessorize it and add char grills, rotisseries, whatever. Then when we got to the oven smoker with the design, we can go from low and slow all the way up to, wood-fired pizza cooking temps. So really good with the versatility, really good for our consumers. They can do a little bit of everything on it, which is something that we love.
Yeah, I think it's a real toss-up for me as to what my favorite accessory is between the rotisserie and the smoker unit. I mean, I know that you saw the video, but the smoke ring that I got on those beef ribs that I did on video there just a few months ago, that was phenomenal. And it's a really fun unit to play with because you can build it up with wood and you can have this roaring great fire, or you can put just charcoal down in the belly of it and just have it nice and low and slow. And it's just, as you said, it's so versatile with the different types of cooking that you can do on it, which just makes it so much fun because there's so much different stuff that you could do on it.
Yeah, and that's what it comes down to, you know what I mean? Like, we enjoy all styles of cooking, you know what I mean? So rotisseries, char grill, like I was saying, being in Japan, Japanese barbecue, that's really cool. That's fun to do. But yeah, now into the low and slow, pizzas as well, and getting the rotisseries, rump cap, one of my favorites now. So versatility, you know, it's cornerstone to our product, always has been. We're not, we say we're not a dedicated one product. We like to be able to do a bit of everything. Coming from that food background, you know, you got to do a little bit of everything. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
Yeah, well, one of the things that I most appreciated with the smoker attachment was the little hanging rail in the top. So one of the most delicious things I've ever done, I took just a regular leg of lamb and I covered it in some butcher's axe lamb rub, and then I hung it from the inside of that smoker attachment. And man, that was just so good because it was genuine wood fired with all the lamb juices dripping down onto the burning wood, and it was just
flavor central.
Else.
Flavor central. Funny enough, talking about that hanging, I do char siu pork, and
nice.
That comes up a treat. Our kids love it. I'm a fan of it. It's good. You know what I mean? Like, being the consumer base that we have, smoking for a lot of our consumers is new. So it gives them an easy way to get into the low and slow, but also that they're not just buying that dedicated product. They can do a little bit of everything with it when it comes down to it. So I think it helps the blokes get the wife over the line as well.
Well, one of the big things that my wife likes about it is that we can build the chimney nice and high. Yeah. So you can sit down nice and low, and you can be in front of the fire there, and you can be warm and toasty, but the smoke's not blowing in your face while you're at the campsite. You can set that chimney up nice and high and have it go up above and behind you.
Yeah, that's that offset chimney kit has been really good for us. Just the ability to tuck it, like you said, underneath an awning, patio, under your camper awning is really good when you're away, especially when you get that bad weather. But like you're saying, all the smoke's going to blow away at the top. Leave that door open and kick out the heat at the front there. Yeah,
it's good stuff, man. Really good. Now, you mentioned earlier, getting into BCF. Can you tell us how that came about? Because that's a really big deal, getting into like a nationwide chain like that.
Yeah, it's something that we didn't think we were ever going to do. And like I tell everyone now, it's, you can't rule anything out. The market sort of dictates and the consumer dictates to where they want to buy your product and where it needs to go at the end of the day. And, we've always been about supporting your local. We've always built our business around independent camping shops. So we have like 150 to about 180 independent camping shops around Australia that have been supporting us for a very long time. You know what I mean? And these are the backbone of the community. They're supporting their locals, they're employing locals, money stays in local communities and stuff like that. So that's always been a big part of what we are, because we are a family business at the end of the day. But you know what I mean? It all comes down to, these big stores as well, they employ a lot of local people. They're looking after locals as well. So, trying to keep that focus as well, and making sure we still support the people that have supported us for a long time. And yeah, we get a real kick out of, still talking with some of the people that have been with us for 13, 14 years. Now, our first ever retailer was Echuca Disposals down in the Murray. Tim down there, they're still a retailer of ours, you know,
Wow.
and they're still doing strong. You know, I still remember when we first took on, you know, Tent World being one of our larger stores, and they were, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, if not more. And, you know, they've been really good, really, really good to us and been looking at us. But, you know, shout outs to just about all of our retailers, you know what I mean? Like, they've got to invest into our product and stick it on the ground. And, you know, they've supported us through thick and thin. And, you know, a lot of them, you know, went out of their way to help us over the, you know, bushfire season, which, you know, really took a toll on our business. But yeah, we had some real good support from some retailers, you know, pitching in and taking a bit of stock and helping us through that time, which was really great. Really helped us get through that difficult part.
Yeah, I'd imagine that that bushfire season we had at the end of last year, that would have just been pretty brutal for you, because the last thing anyone's thinking about is going outside and lighting fires. So, like, how do you manage that? Like, what sort of emergency measures do you put in place?
Yeah, we go through it like every year or every second year. There's normally, you know, bushfires.
This is Australia.
Yeah, so, you know, we've been through it before, and, you know, we'll go through it again. And we normally weather the storm okay, but yeah, everyone's seeing the devastation that took place. There was no room for fire at all. So yeah, we had to take it on the chin and wear it, and yeah, it sort of humbled us a little bit, and unfortunately we had to you know, shrink down in size and get back to the basics. So it's me and the wife getting in there. You know, doing all the hard yards at the moment. So, you know, these are things you got to go through in business. You know, you get the ups with the downs. It's not all smooth sailing. You know, we were unfortunate enough to go through a loss of a factory about 8 months before that.
Oh, wow.
We were out of stock for 6 months because we had no factory. We lost all our tooling. So we had to go back and retool and find a new factory. And yeah, so yeah, been through some lows but been through some highs. And like I said, it's just a roller coaster. You just got to jump in, grab on and roll basically, and do your best. You know what I mean? As long as you're out there doing the right thing for the customer, building the right product, and you know, keeping that in the center of your business, you know, I think you'll always be right at the end of the day.
Yeah, what really stood out to me just then in what you just told us was that when the poo hit the fan, it came back to family, and family was how you got through it.
Oh, mate, that's who we are. That's what we're about. And, you know, like we say, it was unfortunate we had to lose a couple of staff, but, you know, we had to come down to our family and making sure we can provide for our girls. And, you know, we've got a larger family as well that pitch in and help us. And when that comes to friends as well. And, you know, we've had a lot of hands help us over the last 8 or 9 months. And, you know, we wouldn't be here without it. So big thank you to all that crew. They know who they are and really appreciate all the help. But yeah, mate, if you're not doing it for family, you know, what are you doing it for? At the end of the day, you know, you don't get rich making barbecue. You know, it's for the work. It's for the lifestyle that we lead, and hopefully something for our kids at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's what it's all about for sure. Yeah. So tell us about what you've got lined up for the future of the OzPig.
Couple of quiet years would be nice. You know, yeah, I think that we're trying to do things a little bit different now. And like I was saying before, we're trying to create more content and a bit more user friendly for the consumer. You know, how-tos and recipes and and all that. So that's sort of where we're trying to focus in the next 12 months. A couple of things internationally, like we're saying we're going to do Europe again. The guys over there have been really patient with us. We haven't had a distributor over there in like 18 plus months, and we've got people over there screaming for smokers and accessories and stuff like that. So, we really got to try and look after those customers and get back over there and get some product over there for them. So, tick those couple of boxes and, see how this COVID wave goes. It's future is still uncertain. It's been good, for us the last couple of months, but, you never know what's going to happen in the future at the present moment. So take it day by day, always making and playing with new products. So you'll see new accessories coming out here and there. And there's a couple of big products that I'd love to do, but I think we might just have to give them a bit of time at the moment and just get through what we've got.
You're listening to the internationally awarded Smoking Hot Confessions podcast with massive barbecue nerd Ben Arnott.
Alrighties, now, so that brings us to our segment 3 of our interview tonight, Anthony. And you have said that you're going to give us a bit of a run through of the ultimate camp dinner. Now, I'm a camper myself. We have run out and bought ourselves a 4-wheel drive, and we've got our OzPig now. We've got our tents and our inflatable mattresses and all that sort of stuff. Tell us, what do we need for the ultimate camp dinner?
Okay, so I thought about this a bit and racked my brain. I'm like, we've been doing this for years. I've got to know what this is for sure. And I think it came down to me, and it is going to be corny as hell, but marshmallows. The kids, keep them kids happy.
Does that count as a dinner though?
Yeah, I don't know. As long as it keeps them happy, we're good. No, like I get to it. When it comes to camp cooking, it's about that time off and relaxing and spending time with family and friends and whoever you're with, you know what I mean? So don't go overcomplicating it. We've been there and done that. We come to our musters, you can see that we do that way too much. And you just spend all the time cooking and it could just become a bit of a nightmare. So what I say is shop local. So go out there, find that butcher, that baker, small goods maker if you can find them. I'm a fan. And, support those local places that you're going to. And some of the produce that you come across can be fantastic. So bust out that rotisserie over the top of the fire, lump of protein, smoke her out, low and so. At least when you're camping, you've got 8 hours where you can sit around and drink beer and not have to do anything. So, that's for me. Go local, grab that big bit of protein, throw on a rotisserie, throw on a smoker. Side dishes for me has to be corn on the cob, garlic, butter, salt, in alfoil on the coals. For sure a winner. Same with potatoes in there. And then, sit back and relax with the family. For me, that's what it's all about, basically.
Yeah, well, that is one of the big advantages of the OzPig, isn't it? Because you can cook the meat on top and then you can throw that corn on the cob. You can throw that potato straight in through the front door, straight onto the coals.
For sure. You can throw a camp oven on there. We've got a side plate that sits out and you can throw the camp oven on the side plate and do it.
I love those side plates.
Stew, man. Like you can do anything, and that's what I wanted to bring. Like this session is, what's home and what's comfort for you. You do that while you're camping, but don't overcomplicate it. Bring it back to the basics and spend some quality time with the people you're around because, man, life's way too busy. You don't need to be complicating it too much. Just enjoy that downtime that you got,
Yeah. Now, I'm going to throw you kind of a curveball here. So one of the ways that my family likes to get out, we like to go out to four-wheel drive parks. So we like to spend most of the day going out around the four-wheel drive tracks and trying not to damage our truck as much as possible because I do have to drive it to work again on Monday morning. But
put that sticker that goes on the dash. Don't damage it. You got to drive it home, stupid.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I've got them everywhere, like just all over my truck. And so what we're looking for is meal ideas that are quick and fast and simple, but are still super delicious.
Yeah. Mate, I think it gets back to me, meat and veg. You know what I mean? Like I was saying, get that local producer and go out there and find that. That's for our family. That's what we get a bit of a kick about, and go out there and, on your way out there, or, as you're going past, try and kick in there and find that. And, you set yourself a menu and stuff like that. Sometimes you set yourself up for failure. We've learnt this the hard way many, many, many times. Simple's normally the best. You can't beat anything cooked over fire. Put that char grill on top, chicken, pork, steak, fish, whatever you want to, flame. There's your flavour. Put salt and pepper. Away you roll.
Yeah, I think my favourite thing is a whole chicken on the rotisserie.
Yeah.
It takes about an hour or so, depending on how hot you got the fire, and just
fire. And
so good.
That's the biggest thing when you're cooking over live fire. It can be an hour today, can be an hour and a half tomorrow. How many beers you had has an effect on it as well. And like we've been doing a lot of rump cap lately. I'm a big fan, big fan. So yeah, that's one of mine. But it does take a little bit longer. It's not something that you're going to whip up in 20, 30 minutes or whatever. But sometimes we like those down days when we're out and we're just doing nothing, just relaxing with the family, throwing a ball, sitting by the fire, beer, chit chat, play cards, all that sort of stuff. So that's when the rotisserie comes out, or the smoker comes out,
or the low and slow. Yeah.
So that's where we get it. And the best thing with the smoker, she'll fit in a 9 kilo gas bottle holder. So if you've got a camper, one gas bottle goes out and it can clamp in, and the pig fits into a milk crate. So it's not hard to take away with you. So it's nice and portable for you. So yeah, that's when you crack out that low and slow, beef ribs. Oh man, so much. But like I was saying, I'm no expert at it, no pit master. I'm a Boilermaker by trade. I love eating, as you can see. I'm a big man. I do like my food. I do have a tendency of burning stuff after having a few too many beers.
I think we've all done that.
Yeah, practice. It's all about practice for me.
Yeah. Now I do have a bit of a sweet tooth. So what do you recommend for desserts on the OzPig?
Oh, yeah. Like we were saying before, marshmallows for the kids. S'mores. My kids are right into the s'mores. They love them. Simple. The wife does a real good apple crumble in the camp oven. Can't go past that.
I love a good apple crumble.
Yeah. And like I was saying, we don't have no set menu. It's all about what we got. When we're out there, just some cool things pop up. You're like, oh, sweet, got good produce. Find that recipe. Dr. Google's everywhere now, and you're only 2 seconds away from finding a wicked recipe at Facebook. Hey, what's going on out there? And what's the best way of using this? So that's what we're about. Get out there, try something new all the time. It's always fun.
Just send a quick message to Brad Lum or Dean Monk. Hey, I've got apples, flour, oats, and sugar. What can I do?
Those boys, some of the things they do, and like I was saying, Brad, for years has been just kicking out some phenomenal stuff on our OzPig, and I still remember it to this day. He did I think it was chicken thighs wrapped in bacon on the rotisserie. And, and a barbecue sauce, and posted it on Facebook. And we sat there with utter disbelief as it just blew up. It just went crazy. I think he had 250,000 views or some like that crazy amount of shares. And that was in the space of like a week. It was gnarly. And, out of just something that he cooked on the weekend and for his family, he's got a a big family, and he cooks for all of them on the pig, and he loves it. And he's just like us. It's all about family, all about spending time with his kids and just having good food and having a few beers and spending time with people that you love, you know?
Yeah, nice. Well, look, man, that's probably about a good time in our episode here for me to hand the studio over to you. So feel free to give some shout outs, give some thanks, give some praise to people that you feel deserve it, and also tell us where we can track OzPig down on the internet.
Right. Well, yeah, it's a long list. Couple big shout outs to the guys at Jagged for helping us with the smoker and getting that off the ground. That was fantastic. If you guys are in the market for a great vert, you go over and see those guys. Their products are beautiful, all built in WA. They do a fantastic job. Oh, where do we go? Brad Lum, who's been out there in the trenches with us for like best part of a decade, cooking and you know, just really helping us get our message out there. Good friend Ian, he's been there for many a cold brew and many a brainstorming session for new products. And, you know, my wife, can't forget her. She's gone through so much with me being away and, you know, getting to the business to where we are. Family, my mother and father that came before us and gave us this great legacy that they've passed on, you know, miss them a lot, and they did a great job. And then, of course, our retailers that support us, you know, from big to small, they all count. And you know, we couldn't be thankful enough for the support we've got here locally, internationally as well. And, it all comes down to the consumer. People liking the product. People like it. So it's working. And, you know, that's the best thing you can have as a business owner, when people enjoy it just as much as you do, and just the same way as you do too, out there eating good food, relaxing by the fire, and, you know, having a beer and enjoying it. So, you know, big shout outs to all our consumers, man. Love yous all. You do a great job, and thank you very much for supporting us. And, you want to find us, jump on the web, OzPig, you know, Google, you'll find us. Find us in a lot of retailers around Australia. So jump in, support your locals, man. That's what it's all about at the end of the day.
Man, I love that this OzPig story just keeps circling back to that. Support the locals, support the locals, support the locals.
And they're the ones that have supported us for 14 years. So that's what it's all about, you know. We don't just do it ourselves, you know, and there's a lot of people that get in there and help us and helped us build it to where we are now.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, look, man, I'm going to say thank you very much for your time. Thank you for coming into the confessional tonight and telling us all the OzPig story. Look, I'm not even going to like try and, you know, blow smoke up your, but the OzPig, I swear to God, it's my most fun unit to use.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
We have an absolute ball. So thank you very much for coming on board, and thank you for sharing the story.
Thanks for having me, mate.
So there you have it, family. That was Anthony from OzPig. How good was that? Now, I was very serious when I said that the OzPig is my most fun unit to use. If I've got time up my sleeve, I'm having people around, I want to sit around the fire, I want to cook at the same time, it's an absolute ripper of a unit. You should definitely check it out. And it was really interesting to hear the story about how they've grown and how it's been all about their local networks, which has been their secret to success. That was a real highlight for me. So I just want to quickly round out by thanking our sponsor, Meat and Fire Media Services. If you're looking to build your brand through strategic social media, do head on over to their website, meatandfiremediaservices.com. Check out the course, use the code word podcast, $100 off, and get all that sorted. And if you're watching this video on YouTube, please make sure you give us a like and a subscribe and hit that little notification bell. If you are watching through Facebook, give us a like and a share. If you're watching on IGTV, give us a little heart and a follow. And if you're listening on a podcast app, make sure you give us a rating and a review, particularly if you're listening on an Apple device or you iPad users, you iPhone users. Make sure you jump in there, give us a 5-star rating and review, because they go a long way to helping our robot overlords push the Smoking Hot Confessions show out to more listeners, and we get to build the Smoking Hot Confessions family as well. And as we just learned from Anthony, it is all about promoting the locals and sharing the local love as well. So that's about all the time we have for tonight's episode. So once again, take care of each other and keep on queuing.
Thanks for listening to the Smoking Hot Confessions podcast. Head on over to smokinghotconfessions.com for recipes, tips, and Ben's own confessions.